So you might want to ask your senators and representatives whether on the left, well, if they're on the left, you want to ask them why they're standing with terrorist organizations, okay? If they're on the right, you also want to ask them why they're standing with Judaism. And not just, although to me it's enough the fact that they called Jesus a false prophet, or the most damaging false prophet. But here's the thing. We align more with the Quran. Christianity aligns more with the Quran. Shocking, isn't it? Well, it shouldn't be. Look at everybody in Washington lies. So this is a mosque in Syria, Damascus, Syria. It's a mosque. And that the green dome, the shrine, it's called the shrine, is where reportedly that John the Baptist's head is, or where his body was. I'll read it in a minute. Yes, let me tell you about Islam's view of Jesus, and then I will show you what Judaism's view of Jesus is, and you decide if when all those people on the right in Washington are saying, no, you must stand on this side because this is the good side. No. Again, Hezbollah, Hamas, terrorist organizations, I've known that for decades, okay? I've known that because I followed this Middle East stuff for a long time. But Iran is the funding from it. Iran's government, not the people. They're a terrorist organization. They are. And Obama and Biden and many others kept giving these people money, which is why they go, and then there were all these bombings in Israel. And it served Israel when they have a corrupt government, because as long as they keep at war with each other, they all make out. The difference with Trump here is there was no wars going on in the Middle East. No. Because he cut off the funding to Iran. See, when you cut off any funding, then they can't get their bombs and their weapons to go and attack people, whether it's innocent people in Palestine or innocent people in Israel. But I'll come back to that in a moment. Here's what Islam thinks of Jesus. In the Quran, Jesus is described as the Messiah, miraculously born of a virgin, performing miracles, accompanied by his disciples, rejected by the Jewish religious establishment. But not as crucified or dying on the cross, nor resurrected, rather as miraculously saved by God and ascending into heaven. The Quran places Jesus among the greatest prophets and mentions him with various titles. The prophethood of Jesus is preceded by that of Yahya. I can't pronounce. I'm not going to try to pronounce many of these Muslim names because I'll botch it. And succeeded by Muhammad, the latter of whom Jesus is reported to have prophesied by using the name Ahmad. In Islam, they refer to Jesus as Isa, son of Maryam, is believed to be the pendulatomate. I cannot pronounce that word, but I can tell you what it means. It means a series of people. Is believed to be the pendulumate prophet and the messenger of God and the Messiah sent to guide the children of Israel with a book called the Injil. That mosque that I showed at the beginning and the green shrine in the mosque. So the mosque, also known as the Great Mosque of Damascus, located in the old city of Damascus, the capital of Syria, is one of the largest and oldest mosques in the world. Its religious importance stems from the eschatological reports concerning the mosque and historic events associated with it. Christian and Muslim traditions alike consider it the burial place of John the Baptist's head, a tradition originating in the 6th century. Muslim tradition holds that the mosque will be the place Jesus will return before the end of days. 2 shrines inside the premises commemorate the Islamic prophet Muhammad's grandson, whose martyrdom is frequently compared to that of John the Baptist and Jesus. Now here's what Judaism has to say about Jesus. Judaism teaches that Jesus of Nazareth was not the Messiah nor the Son of God. In the Jewish perspective, the way Christians see Jesus goes against monotheism, a belief in the absolute unity and singularity of God, which is central to Judaism. Jesus was God. He's referred to as the Son of God. Judaism has no way around any of this. They just don't. Because of the fact that everything Jesus said lines up with the Old Testament. They've just twisted it, like man likes to do with things. That gets too grand in their head. Judaism, the worship of a person is seen by them as a form of idolatry. Yeah, so Jesus wasn't just a person when he was here. He was the Son of God. He was, in the Bible, God said, no man will come that's the Son of Man. Jesus didn't come as the Son of Man because he was a virgin birth. Joseph was the father that raised him, as I said last night. Jesus never even referred to himself as Son of Man. He referred to himself as Son of God. I don't know how Judaism messed that up too, but I mean, there's so many areas in the Old Testament, and that's supposedly what they follow. I don't know what they follow, really. Therefore, considering Jesus a deity is forbidden according to Judaism. Judaism's rejection of Jesus as the Messiah is based on Jewish eschatology, which holds that the coming of the true Messiah will be associated with events that have not yet occurred, such as the rebuilding of the temple, a Masonic age of peace, and the ingathering of Jews to their homeland. And then their belief, if you look further into it, is that all of the world will fall under Jewish law and Jewish religion. Yeah, so Jesus, no, because that's how you get your tyrants. That's why I would, as much as I believe in Jesus and look through things from a biblical standpoint, I would never want to become a country that strictly, no, you have to worship this, because that's how you get tyrants. We have enough tyrants. We need to get rid of tyrants. And I mentioned Abraham in my last video, and so Abraham is what it all goes back to. Abraham, it was the most loyal to God. Old Testament was the first that showed 100% that he put his entire life on the line. He would put everything, even his child. That's how much he trusted everything God said. Abraham, originally Abram, is the common Hebrew patriarch of the Abrahamic religions, including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. In Judaism, he is the founding father of the special relationship between the Jews and God. In Christianity, he is the spiritual progenitor of all believers, whether Jewish or non-Jewish. And in Islam, he is the link in the chain of Islamic prophets that begins with Adam and culminates in Muhammad. So like I said, all of it always goes back to the Bible. So let's, coming back to Trump, what were, because there was no wars in the Middle East when Trump was in office. But of course, everybody in Washington on the right and the left, their whole role always is to divide. You have to stand with Palestinian, you have to stand with Israel. Otherwise, as I said, there's innocence on both sides. You don't want to listen to any of these people, the Democrats or the Republicans. They're all just pushing their whatever agendas, and they don't have a clue about the Bible, and they don't have a clue about anything. Because what were the peace deals that Trump made with the Middle East? They were called the Abrahamic Accords, bringing all three religions into peace. But there's a lot of people that don't want peace. And the other thing he did is he cut the head of the snake off by not funding Iran. But we still have those damn people in Washington, whether on the right or the left, that want to continue getting the American people all riled up and taking sides and becoming racist at somebody when they are the ones that are the problem. There were no wars in the Middle East, none of this going on. Abrahamic Accords. Yeah, so you might want to ask your senators, if you support on the left, why they want you to support Palestine. And then you might want to ask why your senators and representatives on the right want you to support Israel. Let's get back to supporting America.